I'm bucking deep in Tennessee with my brothers from the 3. We quick to click and break the peace. No respect for what they bitch, get off of me. I'm bucking deep in Tennessee with my brothers from the 3. We quick to click and break the peace. No respect for what they.
So what's up, it's Alan Everson and welcome to another video. So we're here at chapter 11, our last chapter in this subject, in this course, which is entitled Build a Small Network. So we're going to discuss about the summary of the chapter 11. So chapter 11.1, Network Design. So small network topologies. The majority of businesses are small and typically require small networks consisting of a single router with one or more switches and possibly one or more wireless access points. The business might also have IP phones. Managing a small network is similar to managing a large network. So device selection for a small network. Regardless of the size, all networks require planning and design to ensure that all requirements, cost factors, and deployment options are considered. So you have the cost, speed, and types of ports, interfaces, expandability, operating system features, and services. So IP addressing for a small network. IP addressing space must be planned when implementing a small network. Planning and documenting the IP addressing scheme helps administrators track device types. Redundancy in a small network. Reliability is another important element of network design. So, traffic management. The types of traffic and how they should be handled should be considered and prioritized in a network design. So, common applications. There are two forms of software programs or processes that provide access to the network. The network applications, which is software programs used to communicate over the network, and the application layer, which is the other programs need the assistance of application layer service to use the network resources such as file transfer or network print spooling. Common protocols, DNS and DHCP server. So DNS service that provides an IP address of a website or domain name so a host can connect to it without using a numerical IP address. DHCP server service that assigns an IP address, subnet mask default gateway, and other information to clients so they don't have to enter them manually. So voice and video applications. Business today are increasingly using IP, telephony, and streaming media to communicate with customers and business partners. Small network growth. The network administrator must allow for growth for small businesses and their networks. Ideally, the network administrator has enough lead time to allow the network to grow in line with the growth of the company. To scale a network, the following are required: network documentation, device inventory, budget, and lastly, traffic analysis. So, protocol analysis. As a network grows, it is very important to understand the type of traffic that is crossing the network as well as the traffic flow. The protocol analyzer is a primary tool used for this. Employee network utilization. Samples of process running on the Windows operating system. In addition to understanding changing traffic trends, network administrator must also be aware of how network use is changing. So 11.2, network security. Types of threats. Information theft, data loss and manipulation, identity theft, and disruption of service. Computer networks are essential to everyday activities. Individuals and organizations depend on their computers. An intrusion by an unauthorized person can result in a costly network outage and loss of work. The four types of threats might occur. Information theft, or when someone breaks into a computer for purpose of stealing confidential information. data loss and manipulation. This is for breaking into a computer to destroy or alter the records. Identity theft is a form of information theft or personal information stolen from the purpose of stealing someone's identity, and disruption of service, preventing legitimate users from access. So, physical security. Physical security of network devices is an equally important security vulnerability to manage. So, there are four classes of physical threats that must be dealt with: the hardware threats, environmental threats, electrical threats, and maintenance threats. Types of vulnerabilities. Vulnerability is the degree of weakness which is inherent in every network and device, and includes routers, switches, desktops, servers, and security devices. So there are three primary vulnerabilities that can lead to various attacks: the technological, configuration, and the security policy. Types of malware. Malware or malcode is short for malicious software. Software or code that is designed to manage, disrupt, steal, or inflict damage on data, host, or network. Viruses, worms, and Trojan horses are examples of malware. So, reconnaissance attacks. In addition to malicious code attacks, networks can also fall prey to various network attacks. There are three major categories of network attacks: the reconnaissance attacks, access attacks, and the denial of service. So, access attacks. Access attacks exploit known vulnerabilities in authentication services. Denial of service attack prevent authorized people from using a service by using up system resources such as a disk space, bandwidth, and buffers. The denial of service attack. So backup, upgrade, update, and patch. Keeping up to date with the latest development is a critical part of network security and defending against the network attacks. Authentication, authorization, and accounting. Authentication, authorization, and accounting, or AAA, network security services provides a framework to set up access control on a network device. So, firewalls. Firewalls are one of the most effective security tools available for protecting users from external threats. Endpoint security. An endpoint or host is an individual computer system or device that acts as a network client. Device security overview. When a new operating system is installed on a device, security settings are set on the default values. Passwords. Strong passwords are critical in protecting network devices. Basic security practices. Use global configuration concept. So in order to ensure that all configured passwords are at minimum length, use the security password minimum length command in global configuration. So base 11.3 basic network performance. So interpreting ping results. The use of ping command is a very effective method to test for network connectivity to a particular host, server, or device. It's an important first step in troubleshooting a network failure. Extended ping. The Cisco OS offers an extended mode of the ping command which will give you more options as shown in the figure to the left. Network baseline. Establishing a network baseline is one of the most effective tools for monitoring and troubleshooting network performance. Interpreting trace messages. A trace returns a list of hops as a packet is routed through a network. Each router is a hop. Extended trace route. The extended trace route command is a variation that will allow the network administrator to adjust parameters related to the command. So these are testing connectivity with trace route. These activities. The common show commands revisited. Network technicians use the show command extensively for verifying the configuration and operation of a device for troubleshooting purposes. So these are examples of the commands that you're going to use. The show version command. This version, so this supposed to be a video that shows a demonstration, walks through the output of the show version command. So this is also a packet tracer activity. The ipconfig command. On a Windows computer, the IP address of the default gateway can be viewed using the ipconfig command. The ARP command. On a Windows computer, the ARP-A command lists all devices currently stored in the ARP cache of particular host. The show CDP neighbors command. The Cisco Discovery Protocol, or CDP, is a Cisco proprietary protocol that runs at a data link layer that allows adjacent Cisco devices to learn about each other even without layer 3 connectivity. The show IP interface brief command. One of the most frequently used commands to verify interface configuration and status of all interface with is the show IP interface brief command. So it is a packet tracer. The debug command. iOS processes, protocols, mechanisms, and events generate messages to communicate their status. The terminal monitor command. Connections to grant access to the iOS command line interface can be established locally or remotely. So 11.4 network troubleshooting. So basic troubleshooting approaches. Technician must be able to analyze the cause of network problem before they can resolve the issue. This process is called troubleshooting. A common and efficient method is based on the scientific method and can be broken down into 6 steps, shown in the figure on the left. So these are the 6 steps of troubleshooting methodology. Identify the problem, establish a theory for probable causes, test the theory to determine causes, establish a plan of action to resolve the problem and implement the solution, verify full system functionality and implement preventive measures, and lastly, document findings, actions, and outcomes. So resolve or escalate. In some cases, it may not be possible to resolve the network problem immediately and may need to escalate it if it requires a manager's decision. Verify and monitor solution. Cisco iOS includes powerful tools to help with troubleshooting and verification, such as ping, traceroute, and the show IP int brief. Duplex operation. In data communications, duplex refers to the direction of data transmission between two devices such as a router and switch. We have the half duplex and the full duplex. Duplex mismatch. Duplex mismatch issues are difficult to troubleshoot since the communications between devices still occurs but is actually much slower. IP addressing issue on iOS devices. IP address related problems will likely cause connectivity issues. Since IP addresses are hierarchical, any IP addresses assigned to a network device must confirm that network's range of addresses. Default gateway issues. Default gateway for an end device is closest networking device that can forward traffic to other networks, usually a router. Without a valid default gateway address, a host will not be able to communicate with devices outside of its local network. So, troubleshooting DNS issues. Domain name service or DNS is used to match names such as www.cisco.com with numerical IP addresses. This allows a user to enter on their web browser instead of entering Cisco's IP address for web server. If DNS is down, it may appear to some users that the network is down, when in reality it might just be that the DNS server is unreachable. So here's lab activity. So chapter 11.5, the summary. Let's see. So for the conclusion of the chapter 11, you should have explained the features and function of Cisco IS software, configure initial settings on a network device using Cisco IS software, and lastly, given an IP addressing scheme, configure IP address parameters on end devices to provide end-to-end connectivity in a small to medium-sized business network. So that's all for today's video, and thank you for watching.